Cheers, mate. Welcome to my last Now So Call Music collection video for both the US and the UK series in question of September of 2025. Let's do it. A lot of you are probably gonna ask me, why am I doing a Now So Call Music collection video after so many years, even after announcing that I would no longer be doing Now So Call Music videos? Well, I kind of left my last collection video on a cliff mode. I mean, my last sets of Now So Call Music videos technically being revisions of the 2016 albums in question for the UK series. So I feel like going back and showing off my UK CDs and my collection for September of 2025. And this will probably be one of the last videos, I will probably say the last video of the Now So Call Music series in question. I will do some slight references in future videos, but it won't be a regular thing. So let's get right into the UK collection. These are all of my UK series CDs, and I'm sorry that this is off center from these ones because, well, I tried to get them all in order, but then didn't think, okay, let's just get this started. First of all, we got Now So Call Music 4 from 2019, but technically it's from 1984, and I bought this back in 2023. It was actually bought at a thrift store, so, but yeah, it is based on the older, like, style CDs and records and that stuff. It's got the older music on it from the bigger hits in 1984, so you can see Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. $4. Next up is Now So Call Music 37. This is from 1988. I bought this back in like 2019, I believe. 2019 or 2020, but as you can see, this is from 97. I mean, the copyright date down here says 1987. And I'm sorry, this is broken too, so, but I don't remember how much I actually entirely bought for these, but I know that this was one of the more older ones that I got. Next up is Now So Call Music 72. I bought this last year from Amazon, and it is from 2009, spring of 2009. And you can see like all the hit songs on here. 43 top chart hits. And, okay. Honestly, the CD design is pretty plain, I'm not gonna lie. Because it doesn't look that interesting whatsoever, it's just the cover and then you got like all this stuff here. Next up is Now So Call Music 74 from winter of 2009. And fun fact, this is one of the only songs that I heard with Deadmau5. I mean, yeah, Ghost and stuff. CD is also pretty boring here, but I mean, there isn't all that stuff behind there. It's actually just design. I also bought this from Amazon. Now So Call Music 80. This is from 2011, and I bought this from Amazon in 2021, mainly because this was pretty much on the 10-year anniversary when it was gonna be released alongside Now 80 of the USA version. But it turns out the 80, Now So Call Music 80 for the US kind of sucks. So, Now So Call Fitness. This is honestly, I bought this from Amazon too, so. Now we're getting into the actual ones that are actually alongside. So I'm gonna try to get this through as quickly as possible. Starting with the 2014 series, we got Now So Call Music 87. This was released in spring of 2014. And I didn't realize that was broken. What's this song? And then you also got the other CDs too, which I think you have to, yeah, okay, yeah, you have to open it like that. Design's pretty plain here too, but I mean, it's actually kind of interesting how like Wrecking Ball was actually included on this CD. It wasn't included on Now 86, right there. Now So Call Music 88, released in July of 2014. Win a 40-inch HD LED TV. I mean, you could pause everything to look at all of this, but Now That's What I Call Music 89. This was released in November of 2014. You got the track list here. Instead of 40-inch, you get a 42-inch TV here. The design is a little different against the actual design against the actual cover. I mean, it looks similar, but kind of boring. Now That's What I Call Music 90, released in March of 2015. Win a wireless speaker. This is honestly where the design started to get good. You also get the track list with Uptown Funk and King by Years and Years. Now That's What I Call Music 91. This is from July of 2015. They also had a bunch of games for the Xbox One and PS4. Win a 40-inch TV. They don't even see if it's HD or not. Now That's What I Call Music 92. This is from November of 2015. 40-inch TV, no HD or LED. I think this goes over here. Yeah. Now That's What I Call Music channel on Amazon TV. Wow. This was the same year that Jeremy Clarkson was also fired too, so. Shit. Okay. I didn't realize I made an error. Oopsie. This is supposed to be over here, and all this stuff's supposed to be like this. But Now That's What I Call Music 93. This is from March of 2016. Wireless speaker, CD with the umbrellas, Brit Hits. I mean, Pillow Talk is pretty censored in this one, so. Now That's What I Call Music 94. This is from July of 2015. Win an iPod Touch. I just realized I said 2015 when I meant 2016. I don't like the white with the blue. I mean, it looks okay, but it kind of just, on camera, it looks a little hard to read. Now Let's Start Calling Music 95, my very first UK CD, in fact. This is from November of 2016. This is when the Now Let's Start Calling Music app was starting to really get pushed. I actually really like this CD a lot. I mean, I own this for a matter of years. I've had this since 2019. A lot of the other ones have been bought from Amazon. This was also bought from Amazon. Now Let's Start Calling Music 96. This is from March of 2017. I was meaning to show that thing there. Win an iPod Touch in 6 months of Now Music Plus. 43 top chart hits. This is one of the only ones where I know music is technically by the same artist as duplicated. Like you got The Weeknd and Daft Punk here, and The Weeknd, Daft Punk here. Which, I've never seen that very often, like it happens very rarely. Now Let's Start Calling Music 97. This is from July of 2017. Instead of an iPod Touch, you get a Bluetooth speaker. Of course, you don't get a new device with it. Now Let's Start Calling Music 98. This is from November of 2017. This is one of the newest Now Let's Start Calling Music CDs I have gotten recently. I mean, I got this from Amazon in 2022. Fun fact, the very last song on the compilation, The Killers' The Man, is actually a song which I actually really liked from this compilation. I mean, discovery is everything, right? Now Let's Start Calling Music 99. This was released in March of 2018. Alright, let's see what we got behind here. Noise canceling headphones in 12 months. Actually, that's not that bad. Now Let's Start Calling Music 100. Released in July of 2018. This is one which is actually very much a special one, because you'll see in a second. I mean, I do want to get this one at some point. Now Let's Start Call 100 hits from 100 nows. And the main reason why this is special is one side is just the latest hits at the time, and then you got the oldies. I mean, you got like a lot of interesting ones on here. I mean, you got Justin Bieber, Uptown Funk, but I mean, this one's a pretty decent album. I wish they decided to get like they use 2 CDs instead of just using 1 and 1, because it's pretty weak, if I'm being honest. Now Let's Start Calling Music 101, released in November of 2018. They stopped promoting the sponsorship. Now let's start Call Music 102. Released in March of 2019. I mean, this is also when they started releasing the anniversary edition CDs too. This is actually one of my favorite CDs from the UK series. Just in my opinion anyway. I think the design of the actual artwork is the best here. Now let's start Call Music 103. Released in July of 2019. Now let's start Call Music 104. This was released back in November of 2019. Dance Monkey is very much overrated. I remember that one Instagram story I said that the actual song was underrated, and I hate the fact that I said that accidentally. Now let's start Call Music 105. This was released in, I believe, May of 2020. This was delayed, and I wanted to review this one so bad at the time. And it sucks to know that Family by the Chainsmokers wasn't even on the CD. Yes, I'll still go on about that, complain about it. Now that's why I Call Music 106. This was released in July of 2020. And I think this one's actually probably one of the weaker ones too, because I mean, this was released so soon after 105, especially with COVID going on. It kind of is sad. Dinner Guest is my favorite song here. Now that's why I Call Music 107. This was released in November of 2020. Nothing here, which is boring because the fact that there's nothing. I'm pretty sure it's behind here. And yeah, that's all the promotional stuff. Let's look at the CD real quickly. They got very simplistic with the design. Now that's why I Call Music 108. This was released in March of 2021. This was the second to latest CD that I owned for the UK series. I love how they went from the top chart hits to just the best of the best. Hang on. The best of the best. And I think Sabrina Carpenter is somewhere. There she is. My final Now That's What I Call Music CD from the UK. Now That's What I Call Music 109. This was released in July of 2021. I actually like the actual Ferris wheel here. This was the very last UK CD I do own, so the latest one, and I don't plan on buying any newer ones. Okay, let's get to the US series. This one's gonna be a bit of a harder one. These are all of my USA Now CDs. And I'm actually genuinely shocked that I actually have had so many of these. And some of these I didn't even find until just before I filmed. So I'm gonna go through these one by one. The first one I'm gonna get into, and the oldest one I own, Now That's What I Call Music 2, from 1999. I actually have a copy of this without the case, but I recently found the case for it, and this is actually a much better condition copy, so you can actually see all of the songs and everything like that. Now That's What I Call Music 3, from 1999. The CDs weren't really that interesting. They really just generally had like also available and that stuff, and then the CD. I'm actually generally gonna be honest, the designs for the CDs looked a lot better. Now That's What I Call Music 4, from the 2000s. This is from the year 2000, and as you can see, I mean, this was the first for the 21st century, so. Now That's What I Call Music 5, from 2000. This was released in the Christmas season of 2000. I actually own 2 copies of Now That's What I Call Music 7, both priced differently. This is 50 cents, and this is from Goodwill, and it's $4. I'm gonna show this one. Now That's What I Call Music 7 from 2001. The designs of the CDs completely changed, so like, I think this is more of the ruined copy. Yeah, this is a bit of a ruined copy since it has a bit of a bit scratched off of it, but it still works. Now That's What I Call Music 8 from 2001. This is actually a really sticky copy because you can barely tell, but like, look at all that crud. And I can't even open it. Okay, there we go. The design of the CD is actually not that bad. And because the copy is so sticky, it actually got into the paper. So when I tried to open this like insert, it actually ripped a little bit. Now That's What I Call Music 9 from 2002. Of course, the casing is also broken on this one too. This actually does have a special edition of Pink's Let's Get the Party Started with Sweet Dreams. And this is I think this is one of the only copies that actually has that special edition. The 20th anniversary edition did not have that, which I also just realized I actually don't even have the copy of that out, so I'm not even gonna be able to show that for the video. Anyways, Now That's What I Call Music 11. You can tell I'm really unprepared for this. Although this is also the very last Now That's What I Call Music CD thing. Now That's What I Call Music 17 from 2004. The designs got really boring at this point. Now That's What I Call Music 22 from 2005. There's so many more of these I should try to get. Now That's What I Call Music 23 from 2006. This was not originally included with this CD. It actually had this CD in it, which is Now That's What I Call Music 24, which was also released in, it was released in 2007. I don't actually have the insert for this. I have it somewhere, but again, I don't know where that's at. Now That's What I Call Music 26 from 2007. They started completely getting rid of all the ones on there. Now That's What I Call Music 31 from 2009. Cash is pretty interesting to see on there. Now That's What I Call Music 37 from 2011. Sticky. Now we got the entirety of the 2012 series here. So we got Now That's What I Call Music 41 from February of 2012. Now That's What I Call Music 42 from May of 2012. Now That's What I Call Music 43 from August 2012. I actually still have the original receipt here for when I bought it. Now That's What I Call Music 44 from November of 2012. This actually reminds me a lot of Now 95. Now That's What I Call Music 50 from May of 2014. I don't have any of the 2013 series, so I probably will keep buying these, but I probably won't use them for a video. Now on to the mass ones, and you may wonder where my Now 78 copy is. I think I lost it. 2015 series to start off with. Now That's What I Call Music 53 from February of 2015. Now That's What I Call Music 54 from May 2015. Now That's What I Call Music 55 from August of 2015. They also started using the UK-based CD covers for their CD promotions. This is actually one of the main 2015 CDs I really do enjoy. Now That's What I Call Music 56 from November of 2015. UK CD. Now That's What I Call Music 57 from February of 2016. This is gonna fall out, so I gotta be careful. They were also selling t-shirts too. Jesus, $14 for a t-shirt. I actually do really love the design of this cover. Now That's What I Call Music 58 from May of 2016. This one was actually a pretty interesting one to see because it's clearly photoshopped. Doesn't match up with the others. The middle bit's broken, so it doesn't really work as well as it used to. I don't know why it broke, I don't really get it. This also does have Pillow Talk on it right here, and it's not the censored version, so, I mean, it doesn't have the F-bomb clearly, but they don't censor piss. Now That's What I Call Music 59 from August of 2016. They actually made an error here because it doesn't say including Justin Timberlake. It says only including the Chainsmokers featuring Daya and the others. Even though, as you will see in a second, the very first artist on the CD is Justin Timberlake with Can't Stop the Feeling. Now That's What I Call Music 60 from November of 2016. This was the final CD that actually had a deluxe version with it, which I wish I had the deluxe version. Coming into 2017, we get Now That's What I Call Music 61. One of my favorite ones. From January of 2017. Now That's What I Call Music 62 from May of 2017. UK compilation again. If you are wondering why this has a few foldings in it, it's because I didn't really use these cases as much. The next two are not going to have the proper back cases, but they will have some form of a track list. I will show them through editing. Now That's What I Call Music 63, my original copy and the very first Now That's What I Call Music CD that I ever bought. It's crazy how this CD is actually like 8 years old now. And yes, this is from the insert. Yes, I ruined it. I mean, this has some form of like a track list on it. I wrote majority of them by myself, but... Now That's What I Call Music 64 from November of 2017. This is my second copy. This is my second Now That's What I Call Music CD ever. And yes, it has a very lame thing. It's not as good as the other one. Again, show the track list properly. Coming into 2018, Now That's What I Call Music 65. This is from February of 2018. Fuck, that one doesn't even, oh my god, that one doesn't even have, okay. Now That's What I Call Music 66. This was released in May of 2018. Of course, this is also broken too. Funny enough how Sick Boy was one of the ones which wasn't a massive hit at its time, but it's still a good song. Now That's What I Call Music 67. This is from August of 2018. This is also broken. I love how broken these all are. It's ridiculous if I'm being honest. Try to close this carefully. Now That's What I Call Music 68. And yes, this does have an Ariana Grande Positions sticker on it because this is actually from its case. This is from October of 2018. I actually got this in Christmas of 2018, so I'm not gonna lie, this is actually one of the ones where I actually really like it. And if it wasn't for that sticker, you would see the Empire State Building. I know everybody's gonna laugh at this one. Now That's What I Call Music 69. Yes, I know this is a meme. And I didn't realize I put an Apple sticker on it, so I did review this at its time, and this is actually a decent CD. Not a bad CD at all. Now That's What I Call Music 70. This was released in May of 2019. I forgot to say Now 69 was released in February of 2019. This is probably one of the ones where I think it's honestly the weakest and the design actually really sucks. Here comes the big one. Now That's What I Call Music 71. This is from August of 2019, and in true fact, this is actually my original receipt when I bought it from Walmart. Now That's What I Call Music 72, and this was released in October of 2019. Now That's What I Call Music 73. This was released in February of 2020. I was about to say 2019, but it was 2020. This was pre-COVID, by the way. Now That's What I Call Music 74. This was released in May of 2020. This was the only album in the Now That's What I Call Music series that actually came out on vinyl, by the way, so. Now That's What I Call Music 75. This was released in August of 2020. Now That's What I Call Music 76. This was released in November of 2020. This is my favorite one from 2020, by the way. I don't know why, I just really like it. Coming in at the only two of 2021, Now That's What I Call Music 77. This was released in February of 2021. I think it was January, I think. This was pretty weak, if I'm being honest. This was weak. Now That's What I Call Music 79. This was released in August of 2021. I didn't actually buy Now 80, by the way. I actually didn't even bother buying it. So this technically was my last one before the latest one, which I have. The last one in the numbered series is Now That's What I Call Music 87. This is sealed brand new, and I'm not opening this guy for this video. I'm gonna keep it sealed, so I'll insert a picture of the CD here on this video. Alright, on to the special editions, which I'm just gonna go with this at the best I can. Now That's What I Call Music, the very first one, and this one's not a good copy. This is from 2001. Yeah, this is not a good copy at all. Now That's What I Call Christmas 2. This is from 2003. Now That's What I Call Christmas 3. This is from 2006. Now That's What I Call Music Disney 1 and 2. 1 is from 2012 and 2 is from 2013. I actually wish I had this. Now That's What I Call the 80s. This was released in 2008. This was before Michael Jackson passed away too. Now That's What I Call a Decade 2010s. This was released in 2020. This is the only one that actually features the song Closer by the Chainsmokers. Now 60 or 61 did not include the song. Now That's What I Call 2000s. This was released in 2017. It's a pretty weak list if I'm being honest. Just most popular hits. Now That's What I Call Hits and Remixes 2019. This was released in 2019, clearly. I mean, it's obvious. Fun fact about these is that these are technically Now That's What I Call workout remixes on iTunes. They're not called hits and remixes, they're called workout. And it just includes a bunch of remixes. Now on to the second to last series. Now That's What I Call Country, Volume 1. This was released in 2008. Now That's What I Call Country, Volume 3. This was released in 2010. I do actually have that one, but I don't know where that is either. Of course, I don't have a lot of my CDs. I have 95% of all my CDs, but I don't have all of them. I'm trying my best. Now That's What I Call Music, Volume 5. This was released in 2012. And the very last Now That's What I Call Country CD, which I do have, and it's in very rough shape. Now That's What I Call Country, Volume 13. I'm gonna have to be careful because this is also broken too. This is the most recent one I do actually have. Justin Bieber's on here? Weird. And the very last bit, which I will actually show, is Now That's What I Call 25th Anniversary, Volume 1 on vinyl. And this is also sealed brand new, so I'm not gonna open this up. Done at last. Thank you guys so much for watching this video on the Now That's What I Call Music compilation stuff. This is my very last video and it was a very long one. Jesus Christ. I didn't realize how long this was actually gonna take and actually how many CDs I actually had. Like literally, I did not expect to have as many CDs and actually miss a few in the process. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm not gonna do one of these again. Maybe I'll do one last one if there's a haul out where I decide to just give them all away, but I doubt it. So, I'll see you guys later. Bye.